Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and I was always told I had a voice for radio, so today I'm showing you another new card from the upcoming Guardians Rising expansion. It is Tapu Koko. Not the EX, I did a video about that the other day. You can find a link to that bad boy in the description. This is the non-GX, the one that only gives up one prize if he gets KO'd. Now, the fact that he's a lightning type means you're hitting for weakness against things like Shaman and Rayquaza and Yveltal. Good weakness to hit. And of course, it gives you access to the two stadiums, Rough Seas and Ether Paradise Conservation Area. Now, I talked about this in my video about Ether Paradise Conservation Area, link to that in the description. But basically, Rough Seas allows you to heal 30 damage from a lightning Pokemon per turn, and Ether Paradise Conservation Area reduces damage done by 30. So I'll lead you to decide which one of those you would rather have. Now, the fact that it's a basic means you can use Fighting Fury Bout to pop him up to 150 HP and allow him to do 10 more damage for each of his attacks. And you could use Max Elixir here, so you can look at the top 6 cards of your deck, and if you find a basic energy and Tapu Koko's on the bench, you can go ahead and attach it. Now, you can actually combine Ether Paradise Conservation Area and Fighting Fury Belt here. You will have 150 HP, damage done will be reduced by 30, so you've kind of got an unofficial HP here of 180 on a basic that gives up a single prize, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty tanky. Now, what I do like about this non-GX is it's more similar to the video game. It's weak to fighting, which it should be given the ground weakness in the video game, and it's got free retreat, which it should have given the 130 base speed in the video game. But don't sleep on the fact it's really good in your deck to have a basic with free retreat. It means that if something gets knocked out, you can put Tapu Koko into the active and then retreat into whatever you like. It means if you've got a Tapu Koko GX on your bench, you can put the non-GX in the active, Max Elixir onto the GX on the bench, and then just free retreat. Having free retreating basics, as we've all seen with Mew from Fates Collide lately, is a really, really good thing to have. Now, a weakness to fighting is a little bit of a pain. Things like Lycanroc and Zygarde could be an issue, but they're not seeing much play at the moment. They're weak to Lurantis, so not the worst weakness to have at the moment. Now, as for the attacks, the first attack can be done for just a double colourless energy, or 1 energy plus Max Elixir, and it's not bad. It just does 20 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Now, one thing you could do here is pop a wide lens on Tapu Koko, then you're doing 40 damage to any lightning weak Pokemon on the bench, and I'm thinking here primarily of Shaman. Being able to just spread 40 damage around to all the Shaman is quite a lot of fun. Or you could even just do 20 a turn, and either in the early game you're softening up all of your opponent's Pokemon, or in the mid to late game you've damaged a Pokemon, they've retreated it, and you're hitting it on the bench. You can take a KO here without having to use Lysander. They've got 20 damage left, they retreat to the bench, you can just get the KO with this. The other thing you could do is play the Fighting Fury Bout Ether Paradise game and just sit there going, look, I've got 180 HP, essentially. More than that if you hit me more than once with Ether Paradise Conservation Area. So I'm just going to sit here doing 20 damage to all of your Pokemon until you knock me out. It's not the best attack ever, 20 damage isn't great, but being able to spread around damage while you start the game, being able to take cheeky bench KOs without Lysander, it's a useful attack. The second attack is what we're seeing a lot of in these new sets. 100 damage, lightning, colourless. If they're weak to lightning, you'll get a 1-hit KO. If they're not, you'll get a 2-hit KO. Now, I know something like Mega Rayquaza, you need to hit 110 to get a KO, but Fighting Fury Bouts. Expert Bout and Yveltal, you need to hit 110, but again, you're probably playing an Expert Belt here. Don't forget, of course, the other option you've got here is you could play a Choice Band. So if you're hitting against EXs or GXs, you're actually hitting 130, but most of the time hitting 110 is good enough if you're hitting for weakness. So I'm more of a fan of Fighting Fury Bout here. So it's a fairly standard attack. 2-hit KO or 1-hit KO if they're weak. And especially if you've got 150 HP and you're using Ether Paradise Conservation Area, you've got a little bit of bulk, you're 2-hit KOing them, but there isn't going to be that much that's one-hit KOing you. So you can afford to two-hit KO, you're two-hit KOing, they're two-hit KOing, but you're giving up one prize, they're giving up two. The pain here is the fact that it's lightning colourless, which is an annoying investment to put onto a Pokémon. But make no mistake about it, I quite like this. He's got a bit of bulk to him. His attacks are decent, if a little bit expensive. But one deck that I'm really looking at in Guardians Rising is playing Tapu Bulu and Tapu Koko GXs in their own deck. There's a lot of synergy because they're both using Ether Paradise Conservation Area, they're both using Fighting Fury Bout, they're both using Max Elixir, and all three of those cards are ones that I've mentioned could be useful with non-GX Tapu Koko. So I'm a fan of using him here as a non-GX attacker in a GX deck because he's got synergy with all of those cards anyway. So I'm going to give him a nice solid 3 Wassies. I don't think he's going to be a basis of his deck on his own. I don't think he's good enough. But as a non-GX attacker, I mean, in any GX-heavy deck, we want a non-GX attacker. And I think Tapu Koko fits in here quite nicely. Now, you know the deal, ladies and gentlemen. There is a comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. There are buttons to both like this video and subscribe to this channel, and I would be delighted if you would use them both. You can follow me on Twitter @TheWassie, and the most important thing as always is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.